Hello and welcome to Nonny, Yanga's flagship talk show where we discuss all the hot topics. Today we look at the popular and controversial hit YouTube series Backchat London. We explore just how influential web series are and we look at the representation of black people on British telly. Joining me today, producer and creator of Backchat London, Andy Amadi, and two of the show's favourites, Esther Falana and Biscuit. Backchat in the house. Yo. You know, I need a roll. No talking over each other. With over 200,000 YouTube subscribers and viewers in the millions, the success of Backchat is undeniable. 5 women, 5 men, a kitchen and a question. That's the simple synopsis of the hit series. Launched in November 2016, the Backchat brand has now expanded overseas with versions in both New York and Houston. The show's biggest draw is arguably its provocative talking points and unfiltered and uncensored opinions of its cast. Created in a bid to address the lack of content created for the UK's Black, Asian and minority ethnic demographic, the show really struck a chord with its young viewers. Love it or hate it, there's no denying that Backchat has certainly made its mark in urban culture. Andy, or shall I call you Ghost? Ghost. 200,000 subscribers and millions of viewers. When did you realise that, yes, Backchat's a hit?
Probably the next day after it was released.
Oh, wow.
The first day it was all right. I mean, we did more views than we expected to do. I think we were just aiming for about 10,000 views and we said, you know what, we just want 10,000 views and we can grow from there. So the first day I think it hit about 12,000 views and we were happy with it. And then the next day, literally, my phone almost broke. Like, I think as soon as Twitter got a hold of it, that's it. It just literally went viral.
For those who haven't seen it, I'm sure many have, let's just take a look at the popular show.
I think sex is overrated, personally.
I personally don't think that marriage is a partnership.
Don't do that! Don't do that, man! Don't do that, boss!
And that goes back to my point. Stop chilling me, bro. You can dislike me all you want. I don't care. But what you will never do is disrespect me.
They have sugar daddies. They're sleeping with even my people that are my father's age. You understand?
Let's go outside. No! Remember what you're doing. I know. Don't do that.
Your one comment can really affect someone.
Would you say that Backchat has changed your life?
Yes, I'd definitely say I'd be lying if I said it hasn't changed my life, because before I was just a normal, simple, single mum, working, living my life the West way I knew how to live it and doing what, you know, everyone does in their day-to-day work, do the school run or nursery run at the time. So now, of course, the opportunities that I've, you know...
So you're booked and busy.
Exactly.
Hashtag booked and busy.
And as well as that, if it wasn't for Backchat, I wouldn't be here as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, it has definitely opened doors. It's given me so many windows of opportunities. I started my business, S Beauty's Hair, through it. So I can't complain.
I'm still waiting on a wig, by the way.
Oh, girl, I got you.
Girl.
But yeah, definitely, I would definitely say it has changed my life for the positive. Though there also does come backlash, you know, because you've now exposed yourself to the world to be judged and be, you know, spoken upon or commented on. So it does, you know, you're putting your life out there. So it has its positives and it also has its negatives.
Of course. Andy, you weren't the first to do something like this, but definitely Backchat was the biggest. How did it come about? How did you get the cast? Why? Why Backchat?
I just got a few friends together, decided one day I just wanted to do a show because I was so frustrated about putting content online and just not going anywhere. So I just called a few friends together and said, you know what, I want to put on a show. I don't know what it is. I just want you guys involved. And they were like, some of them were like, yeah, we're down. The others was like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But I called all my friends together, just guys, just boys, and we were in my friend's flat. And I turned on the camera and said, let's talk about sports. And we spoke about sports, and it just got a little bit boring. And and there was a lady in the room at the time, and she just literally spoke back to them. And as soon as she spoke back, I saw the way they paid attention.
Spark.
They got upset that she was, why are you talking, sort of thing. Like, what do you know about sports? Do you know what I mean? What do you know about sports? And I looked at it and I was just like, you know what? I like the fact that there was a little bit of controversy there. I think, you know, we don't get to see that online. I feel like the independent market.
Especially for our people.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not used to seeing controversy online. They're used to waiting for like all these big corporations that actually produce shows like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just decided to put 2 and 2 together And then moving forward from there, decided to call in the most controversial people that I knew at the time.
Well, you were successful in doing that. Biscuit, you're not really controversial on the series, but you've had some controversial social media coverage. Yeah. Do you think that's the flip side of Backchat? That kind of negativity it brings. You're a happy-go-lucky guy, but can it sometimes get too much?
To be fair, I don't feel like it can ever get too much. Okay. Since I've been part of Backchat, literally, if I cough out of place, it's all over social media. And that's thanks to Backchat. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because right now I don't have no privacy, so I have to be careful what I post online and etc. So yeah, but it's always good to find a reasonable balance of what I'm doing as well. So yeah.
It is good to find that reasonable balance. Esther, what's your relationship like with Backchat and Andy at the moment? There's been controversies around it. Even if you were going to go to the last reunion, you came, you slayed that outfit, by the way. Esther, you always look good. I know, and there's no bias here, but I love my sister. You came, you looked swaggered on, but then some people were saying it was getting to your head, that you were rude. Your beef with Nunu, for example. Nunu, we said the word Nunu. Some people said it was you. You know, you were bullying her. Do you sometimes feel that people were taking that or your role too seriously? And did it get to your head? Can you look back and say, do you know what, yeah, sometimes I was a bit too much?
Do you know what it is? And I'm very happy that, like Andy said, he's known me before Backchat. So those who have known me before I ever started Backchat will know the type of person I am. And I've always been this way. I've never thought I was big-headed. Like, I've always been a girl that walks in a room with heels on, even in the snow. Like, I value myself very highly.
Your ankle,
I value myself very highly. Yeah. So for the world, obviously, when you put yourself out there, the world sees you. And of course, people are going to say, who is she? And do you know what it is? I believe people are intimidated by confidence. I'm a very confident woman, and nobody can bring me down. Though I must say, there are times where, you know, sometimes people's comments can, like, make you reflect and affect you and think raw, because there's throughout the journey I've had breakdowns, I've been through a lot through Backchat. The last 2 years it hasn't been easy, and it's not everything that has been shown. I've had my times and my moments where I've needed to take a break, and yeah, when it got to the reunion, I would say that I did get to that point where I was done, like I was fed up, and I just felt like...
Are you still done? Are you still fed up with the brand?
I can't say. You guys will have to wait and see. I don't know. I can't say. I don't know.
You did put on your social media that there is a new twist with Backchat. Yeah. Is it coming back to the UK? Andy, I love it. I'm a fan. In fact, even my husband, he was like, what's this? He was tuned in. I saw him ironing and looking over the laptop. People love it. But then some people are saying it's dead. Yeah. The series is dead. Yeah. It's boring. Tried it in America. This is not Mule. I support my people. But you tried it in America. It didn't work. Yeah. Tried to bring in new cast members. Didn't work. Go back to the old school Backchat. Season 1. What are the plans, and what were the plans with going overseas?
I think a lot of people are too scared to take risks and stuff like that. I'm definitely not one person to do that. The fact that the show even exists should be a testament to that. Going abroad, a lot of people misunderstood the reason for going abroad. It wasn't to
it was to make money now.
It wasn't to, it was to grow the brand into it wasn't to expand the UK brand. It was to extend it to the US and have a franchise there where the US people could also watch it. So the UK people felt that it was for them. I mean, they were more than welcome to watch, but it wasn't solely for them. It was for the American brand. So it was good that we were actually getting 100K views still while we were in America. So even though some people might see it as not successful, I didn't see it like that. I saw it as something that we went out there to go and try. Anyone can pick up a camera and go to America and see how difficult it is to even get 10K views. Do you know what I'm saying? So I definitely will cherish every moment that we spent over there, and it definitely taught us a lot. So now coming back to the UK brand, every time we come back to the UK brand, the UK people support the brand. So I'm not really like worried that it's not gonna. So when is
Backchat London coming back? Is Esther coming back? Is Biscuit gonna be there?
You know what? Yeah.
You're with your people. Give us some exclusive now. This is TV.
They don't even know anything. They
really?
Don't know anything, to be honest.
Oh wow.
So I keep everything like in house because I don't want to. I want to be careful with what I put out, especially with the London show. I feel like it's very powerful, very valuable.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I want to be careful the sort of changes we make, and I don't want to put things out too early, just in case we don't, follow.
We're going to go to the break. I've got to ask you a quick question. They're trying to tell me to move on, but are you making money from this?
Your YouTube views here and there, it's not really...
Because people might think you're baiting, and there's pee coming out of your pocket, You look expensive, Andy. Tell us, is Backchat making money because it should. It should be, guys,
Yeah.
right? It's such a cultural phenomenon. You guys should be making money.
Yeah,
Are
I mean,
you?
The show's not on a big platform, so you just get online money, to be honest, which isn't much, to be quite fair. It goes back into the production. So yeah, there's
Not much. Can you just give us a little sum?
I've answered your question, Esther. Still to come. We look at the representation of black people on British telly and we ask, is there a cultural disconnect between the people who make mainstream TV shows and the people who watch them? See you after the break. Welcome back to Nonny. Now, from the lack of black actors in leading roles to the constant stereotypical representations, many have spoken out about British TV's inability to reflect Britain's multicultural reality. Actors such as Idris Elba and John Boyega are celebrated for breaking boundaries and occupying lead roles. Whilst their success is a great step in the right direction, they both had to move to America for their big break. Is this a reminder of just how far British telly is yet to go? Do people of colour have to create their own content to be taken seriously by mainstream media companies? Andy, let me ask you this. You spoke about not making much money off Backchat because of its platform. Do you feel like there ever would be a space for Backchat on mainstream TV?
Yeah, definitely, and I'm hoping to get a deal. We're hoping to get a deal soon. We have been approaching it previously, I think last year.
Channel 4, that's
Right,
kind of
yeah.
where people who didn't know Backchat kind of...
We were approached by Vice initially, and obviously were given a development deal. It just obviously the deal never went through, fell through due to in-house issues, and moved on to trying to broker it to Channel 4. But I don't know what happened there. It fell through too. So I do know that the interest has definitely shown me that there's definitely a market for it on the mainstream media. It's just a matter of who's going to take that risk right now.
It's a risk, you're right. Would you water it down? If they said, yeah, we love it, but, add a couple of white characters here or less of that kind of talk, would you do it?
To be honest with you, I wouldn't say I wouldn't do it, but
you would do it.
You know what it
All
is?
of us would do it, but that's what we have to do sometimes.
Yeah, I understand, but I feel like the show is fine the way it is, and
Of course, and that's testament to its success. Esther, go on.
Yeah, I feel like if I was in this position, I wouldn't want to, because this is our representation of our London. This represents us black people in the UK. We have a lot of white shows to put out there that represent, there's the whole controversy about Love Island, how they don't put enough black people in there. They haven't changed that. So why should we now water down our show so that we can fit into, what they want? No, let's stand together. Look at the intent. It's done really well. Do you know what I mean? I would call that a black predominantly, a black show.
Black film
a black
now.
film, exactly.
Yes.
So I feel like if we stand, it's all in time. We will get there. We might get there slower than at a slower pace than we want to, but I feel like eventually we'll get there. But I feel like we should stand together and not water it down.
Do you know, that's a good point, Esther, and I'm sure many would share that with you. But Biscuit, do you feel like sometimes you have to water things down just so it can reach a wider audience? If you have an opportunity as a person of colour to go on TV, but you have to maybe, kind of settle yourself a little bit, is that not the price you have to pay so people can look up to you?
I agree with you to a point, but at the same time, I've always had a mentality of accept me for who I am. If you don't, then I'm really, really sorry. I can't figure out who I am to better your perspective of who I am. Yeah. That's been my thought since I've been growing up. So at the same time, I understand what you mean in terms of business opportunities and etc. But I feel like if someone really wants to invest in you and someone really likes who you are, they'll go into who you are and just take you as you are.
Even as look at Big Nasty's show. He has not changed.
He has not
and
changed,
I've been working with him on a project separately, and I respect his craft. I respect everything about him, because he did not. And even when you have a conversation with him, he'll tell you that. That's why it took him. He's been around for a long time.
Big Nasty, we know him.
It took him a long time to get to where he was. And you know, one thing I'll say that why a lot of people respect him and why I believe his show has been successful. It's been picked up for season 2. Is because he hasn't changed. He is exactly how he is.
But there's not enough of them. There's only like one,
I think there's
2
2 shows right now.
Now, like Mo the Comedian's also been offered a new show.
But
Do you know
so
what I mean?
far, the shows that exist on Channel 4 are probably the Pengus Munch.
Exactly. And I think that's why people like Backchat so much. There's so many people like us, but but people are scared to do it in front of the camera.
Yes.
They're scared of what people are going to say, how they're going to look, how they're going to be perceived, how they're going to be judged, etc. But we literally just be ourselves behind the camera.
It's
and
definitely,
so amazing.
definitely confidence. But do you think as well, and I've experienced this as a journalist working in the industry for about 12 years, it's important to have diversity behind the camera as well?
Yeah, of course. That's what people don't see. People don't see
Yes.
behind the camera is very, very diverse.
Yeah,
and a
of
lot of
course.
people don't know that as well.
Yeah.
How important do you think that is, Andy?
It's very important because people behind the camera and content creators are more likely to create people that look like them. They're more likely to invite people that look like them, include people that look like them. So if you're having non-blacks all the time behind the camera, you're not expecting them to go out of their way and go and look for other people just because they want to. Like, you need to be inclusive when it comes to like directors and producers. You need to have different sorts of people there.
Do you think people care? Do you think people like us or your fans care that they're not seeing themselves on TV, or do they just know they can go online and see Backchat London, or go on a site and watch Love and Hip Hop Hollywood? So they don't really care anymore that there's nobody in the Vic in Albert Square that looks like them.
I think. Oh, that's a hard one. I feel like since Big Nasty's show came out on Channel 4 and the Peng...
Hold tight, Big Nasty, by the way.
And Peng Life, I feel
Yeah.
like people are now starting to care. That's what I believe.
Okay.
I think previously to that, I don't believe that people really cared. I think
Yeah.
you could go online, watch what you want. YouTube was accessible. You know, you can watch it for free. But now, when we've now been able to see our own people on daytime TV, nighttime TV, I feel like that's making me tune in. I actually put a reminder on my Sky just to watch it because I want to see my people progress. I want to see.
But
my
does it
people
have
do
to
well.
always be entertainment? Is it just entertainment like Nonny? Nonny could be picked up on a bigger channel. Do you know what I mean though? But is it just like Big Nasty is great, but there are black intellects, there are blacks doing other things, not just kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
With me, I feel like entertainment is just like, with entertainment, you can take entertainment as a comedy aspect or you can take it as a serious aspect. There's different sort of avenues that could be processed. And with Backchat, I feel like there are serious topics and there's a lot of funny topics as well. So I feel like with Backchat, we hit different sort of elements in terms of different diverse topics, different, literally
you do.
a whole round
They're
of
all
different
deep.
things.
They're
Exactly.
all deep.
There's times where people have broke out in seriousness and crying because of the topics we've hit, and that's a different form of entertainment for some people. Hit comedy, like there's so many avenues we've hit, which has been the whole success of Backchat.
No, you're right. And Andy, you have created other web series. I know, like ZZ Mills, her show, controversial boy, Chase. Hey, she's beefing everybody. Don't come for me, girl. Don't come for me. Please, don't come for me. But are you thinking of doing anything a little bit different? Anything that have a news aspect, or is there anything in the pipeline?
I mean, right now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, sort of thing. So a lot of people think that I like a lot of controversial stuff, and I do, to be honest with you. Those sort of things. I like people speaking their mind, and obviously only if it's true will I support it. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I don't like people unnecessarily being controversial or lying or whatever.
Being fake.
Do you know what I mean? So,
You guys are throwing some shady comments.
you know why they're doing that. But yeah, like the ZZ Mills show, like she's a very controversial
She's
character
great though.
because
She's great. I love her.
She
I love
talks
her.
about real like issues that actually like bother her. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people get riled up when she calls them out. I feel like the entertainment industry, especially the music industry, they don't really get a lot of critics. They always used to yes people around them. So when they hear someone like her calling them out, they can't handle it.
They stand up.
It's a punch to the stomach.
It's like, who are you, sort of.
What about your intended audience? Some of your fans, are they English people? Have you got a lot of...
Oh my gosh, I'll tell you one thing. My biggest fan base is in Sweden. I don't understand why,
Oh,
but Sweden...
the blacker the berry.
Sweden and Kenya, like, it's so crazy. I get
Kenya.
exactly. Like, that's how big Backchat has literally got. It's on a worldwide scale now. It's crazy.
Definitely. I get a lot of like Asian, white people, everybody. If they see me, young people of every colour, any colour, they will come up to you and say, hi, oh my gosh, I watched Backchat. Even like when I went to, like I did on Sunday, I went to an event and it was an older, like a middle-aged older white man. I watched your show. I love it. oh my gosh, you speak your mind. I love it. Go, keep good on. So I feel like you'll be surprised. I'm always surprised at the people, the audience that is targeted or the audience that watch
Even
it.
in Lagos, I was there. They recognised you.
I've been told to come to Nigeria. I've been told, like, Esther,
take me with you,
Esther,
my
come.
sister. Take us. But do you understand, Andy, the reason why some actors and actresses moved to America? You did it. And did you kind of do it because you did want to expand?
Yeah. I mean, there aren't, like, to be honest with you, there aren't enough opportunities in this country. I feel like we're definitely backwards when it comes to the entertainment industry. It shouldn't be taking this long for good shows that are hitting the same views, the same viewership as mainstream. It shouldn't take this long for them to get onto a deal. It shouldn't take this long. So I understand why people move out, because there aren't enough people funding money into the system. Like, a lot of actors feel like they need to go to America to sort of blow, because how many times do we make films? The Intent was a film that has just come out recently in the last, 3-4 years. We're releasing one urban film. It doesn't make any sense. When you go to America, it's a much bigger scene.
Guys, we're going to have to invite you back. Before we go, I've got to ask Andy the million-dollar question. Who's your favourite Backchat cast member?
Wow.
Just say the truth.
We'll save that for the next show. That's it from me, Juliana Olayinka, and my fantastic guests, Andy Amadi, Esther Falana, and Biscuit. Don't forget, guys, Nonny's now online, so wherever you are in the world, go to www.yangatv.com to check out every single episode. Join me next time for more Nonny Chat. Goodbye.